After Donald Trump's unexpected victory, Hollywood wasn't silent. Major celebrities known for their influence poured their raw emotions onto social media. They were stunned, and they wanted everyone to know just how deeply they felt. Some reactions were dramatic, some full of anger, and a few were even hopeful. But one thing's for sure, they all made waves. You might be surprised at who reacted the most intensely or who stood out in this sea of emotion. Let's take a look at 20 big names and their unfiltered responses. Did your favorite celeb make the list? 19. Cardi B. Cardi B is known for being as real as it gets. She's always the first to say what's on her mind, so when the election results rolled in, it was no surprise that her reaction was, well, pure Cardi. She posted a video with her head buried in her hands, letting out a huge, frustrated sigh. In the caption, she wrote, "I hate y'all bad." It was a short but powerful response that cut straight to the point. For Cardi, this wasn't just another political event. It felt personal. Her fans could feel her frustration, and they responded by flooding her feed with support. Many were just as upset, and Cardi's reaction made them feel like she was right there with them, feeling the same disbelief and anger. What do you think? Does Cardi's open expression of frustration resonate with how a lot of people felt? 18. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is famous for his marathon podcast sessions where he digs deep into everything from politics to conspiracy theories. But after Trump's win, Joe's response was surprisingly brief. All he posted was, "Holy, S***T. That was it. 3 words that seemed to say it all. Joe is usually the guy with a hot take or an opinion on everything, but even he seemed almost speechless. His followers quickly picked up on the irony. The guy who can talk for hours was stunned into silence. Rogan's fans chimed in with their own disbelief, echoing his shock. Sometimes a few words capture the moment better than any long speech could, and this was one of those times. What about you? Would you say you were just as stunned? 17. Lily Reinhardt. The Riverdale actress, Lily Reinhardt, didn't make the moment about herself. Instead, she turned her attention to others who might be feeling especially vulnerable. She tweeted a message to women who had accused Trump of sexual assault saying, "I believe you and I am so sorry." It was a heartfelt message, one that didn't point fingers or call for action, but simply acknowledged the hurt that some people might be feeling. For Lily, this wasn't just a political statement, it was a message of solidarity. Her fans saw this and they responded with overwhelming support. Many thanked her for speaking up on behalf of survivors, saying her words made them feel seen and validated. Lily's reaction showed that sometimes empathy speaks louder than anger. Do you think her approach brought a needed sense of compassion to the conversation? 16. Paloma Faith. British singer Paloma Faith didn't try to hide her feelings. She tweeted, "Hello racism, hello capitalism, hello climate change, hello war, hello end of days." Her tweet read like a list of fears that the election outcome had stirred up for her, as though she was welcoming in a future she dreaded. Each line in her tweet felt heavier than the last, like she was laying out the dark consequences she expected to follow. For Paloma, this wasn't just a political win or loss. It was a moment that made her worry about the future of humanity itself. Her followers could feel her dread, with some agreeing that the future suddenly felt uncertain and others wondering if she was exaggerating. Do you think Paloma was being overly dramatic, or was she simply voicing the fears that many others share? 15. Sophia Bush. Sophia Bush is known for her passionate activism, and her reaction was as blunt as it gets. She posted a simple tweet, "Great job, America," with a sarcasm that hit hard. For Sophia, this wasn't just disappointment, it was a feeling of deep frustration, like she was shaking her head at the country she loved, but didn't quite understand in that moment. Her tweet was short, but it carried the weight of her disillusionment, as if to say, "We can do better." Sophia's fans picked up on her frustration immediately, with many responding that they felt the same way. It's funny how sarcasm, used right, can speak volumes. Her tweet became a rallying cry for others who were also disappointed, but didn't quite know how to express it. What do you think? Did Sophia's words capture how a lot of people were feeling? 14. Christina Applegate. For Christina Applegate, the election wasn't just a political event, It was something that struck close to home. She shared that her young daughter had expressed worry about the future, fearing what Trump's win might mean for women's rights. Christina's tweet wasn't full of anger or outrage. Instead, it was filled with a parent's concern for her child's future. Her fans, especially parents, connected with this deeply. It was a reminder that elections don't just impact policies. They shape the world that children grow up in. Christina's message touched many of her followers, sparking conversations about the kind of future people want to leave for the next generation. Her response wasn't flashy or dramatic. It was a simple, honest reflection of a mother's hopes and fears. Does Christina's perspective make you think about the election's impact on future generations? 13. Jae Lee Curtis. Jae Lee Curtis didn't take the news lying down. She jumped on social media with a rallying cry, posting, "We wake up and fight." Jamie's words were a reminder that, in her view, the election result wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. For her, this wasn't a time for despair. It was a time for action. Her followers saw this, and they were inspired by her resilience. She wasn't giving in, and she didn't want them to either. Jamie's call to action reminded her fans that there's always something worth fighting for. Her words sparked a sense of determination, encouraging others to stay engaged and proactive. Jae didn't just express her feelings. She turned them into fuel for change. Do you find her words motivating, or do you think they were just another reaction in a sea of responses? 12. Ariana Grande, pop superstar and fan favorite, took a different approach. Her tweet read, "Holding the hand of every person who is feeling the immeasurable heaviness of this outcome today." Ariana's message wasn't full of political rhetoric or anger. It was a message of solidarity. She was letting her fans know that, even though she's a celebrity, she feels the same disappointment they do. For Ariana, this wasn't about starting a debate or calling for change. It was about showing empathy. Her fans felt seen and comforted, as though Ariana was reaching out to them personally. In a time of division, her words felt unifying, like she was reminding people that they're not alone. Isn't it refreshing to see a celebrity focusing on comfort rather than conflict? 11. Stephen King. Stephen King, the master of horror, tweeted a cryptic line that sent chills down his followers' spines. "You can say the same about democracy." King didn't elaborate, but his words were powerful. Known for his ability to craft suspenseful, dark tales, Stephen seemed to be hinting that the result had larger implications. His tweet wasn't a rant, it was a warning, a subtle reminder of how fragile democratic systems can be. His fans, used to his chilling storytelling, saw this as yet another example of King's unique way of looking at the world. For them, his words were a wake-up call, a reminder to stay vigilant. Do you think King's dark comment is reflective of a deeper fear about where the country's headed? 10. Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen, famous for his quick wit and his position as the host of Watch What Happens Live, was one of the first to react. Instead of a long emotional post, he chose humor mixed with sarcasm, tweeting, "So the election isn't rigged?" His tweet seemed simple, but it was loaded with meaning, poking fun at claims from various political figures who had repeatedly suggested that the election system was faulty. Andy's fans quickly picked up on the double meaning. Was he implying that people were only okay with the system when it worked in their favor? His response felt like a jab, not just at the election outcome, but at the inconsistency he saw in how some people responded to democracy. Fans flooded his comments, laughing along, adding their own jabs and echoing his ironic tone. Cohen's tweet was clever and subtle, but held a deeper critique. Do you think using humor is a smart way to handle topics this heavy? Or does it risk trivializing the situation? 9. Bette Midler. Bette Midler, always outspoken and never one to hold back, didn't disappoint. She tweeted a biting line, "The presidency is now won by the most devious and mediocre." Her words were sharp, almost as if she was expressing a sense of betrayal. Bette's reaction didn't just target Trump. It was a critique of the entire system and the qualities she felt it rewarded. Her tweet struck a chord with her fans, who praised her for speaking out so boldly. Many shared their own feelings of frustration, feeling that Bette's words had put into words what they couldn't express. The post wasn't just about disappointment. It felt like a personal indictment of the political climate. Her followers responded passionately, seeing her tweet as a rallying cry against what they felt was wrong in the country. Do you agree with Bet's pointed critique of the political system? Or do you think she might be overstating things? 8. Viola Davis. Viola Davis is known for her grace and poise, and her reaction to the election was no different. Rather than voicing frustration, she took a moment to thank Kamala Harris, the first female vice president, saying, "Thank you for loving America's promise." Viola's response wasn't just about politics, it was about respect and gratitude. Her message was a reminder that, despite setbacks, there's always progress and hope to be found. Her fans responded with admiration, feeling comforted by her words. In a time when many were focused on the negatives, Viola's message brought a sense of calm and positivity. Her response wasn't flashy or loud, it was thoughtful and heartfelt. This is why Viola is so respected. She knows how to bring a sense of dignity even in challenging moments. Do you find Viola's optimistic perspective refreshing? Or do you think her words were missing the mark in a moment of high emotions? 7. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, one of the most influential young voices in music today, responded with a tweet that was short but impactful. She wrote, "It's a war on women," capturing her concerns about what Trump's leadership might mean for women's rights. Billie has always been outspoken, especially on issues that affect her young fan base. And this reaction felt deeply personal. Her fans, many of whom are young women, were quick to support her, echoing her worries and sharing their own fears. Billie's message reminded her followers of the importance of standing up for women's issues, even when it's challenging. Her tweets sparked conversations and debates, with fans discussing what this election might mean for them personally. Billie's influence made her words even more impactful, as her fans took her message to heart and continued the conversation on social media. Do you agree with Billie's view, or do you think her response was too intense? 6. Amber Rose. In a world of anti-Trump celebrity reactions, Amber Rose's response stood out like a neon sign. Rather than expressing disappointment, she posted an enthusiastic message. "Trump, Trump baby, all day, we won." Amber's support for Trump came as a shock to many of her followers, and the comment section was filled with fans who couldn't believe her reaction. Amber has always been a polarizing figure, known for her bold statements and unapologetic opinions. Her support for Trump, however, was a new chapter, one that set her apart from nearly everyone else in Hollywood. Some fans appreciated her honesty, even if they disagreed, while others unfollowed her or voiced their disappointment. Regardless of the reaction, Amber's post reminded everyone that celebrities are not a monolith and that support can come from unexpected places. Were you surprised by Amber's response, or did you expect her to take an unconventional stance? 5. Russell Brand. Russell Brand, the British comedian and actor, is known for challenging mainstream views and pushing boundaries. So his response wasn't completely surprising to those who know him. He posted a photo wearing a red MAGA hat with the caption, "God bless America." Russell has always been vocal about his dissatisfaction with traditional politics and often expresses support for unconventional ideas. But this image felt like a bold statement even for him. His fans were divided. Some saw it as a statement on freedom of speech, while others felt let down by a comedian they admired. Brand has never shied away from controversy, but this time he was challenging his own fan base. The response to his post was intense, with many followers debating in the comments. Do you think Russell's reaction was genuine support? Or do you think he was making a satirical statement to challenge his audience's expectations? 4. Elon Musk. Elon Musk, always the optimist, posted a reaction that was both symbolic and thought-provoking. He shared a photo of a rocket launch with the caption, "The future is going to be fantastic." Elon didn't directly mention the election or Trump, but his message hinted at his broader vision. One focused on progress and innovation. To Elon, the future is always something to be excited about, regardless of political outcomes. His tweet reminded fans to look beyond the immediate and focus on what lies ahead. Some saw it as a refreshing take, a reminder to stay hopeful and forward-thinking. Others felt that Elon's post was too detached, almost ignoring the political reality. Elon's perspective, however, has always been global rather than national, and this post was no exception. Do you think Elon's message of optimism was timely, or did it feel out of touch with the moment? 3. Sarah Silverman. Sarah Silverman, known for her wit and political commentary, kept her response short but meaningful. She tweeted, "This is not happening," almost as if she was in denial. For Sarah, the election result felt surreal, a moment of disbelief that she couldn't quite process. Her followers connected with her on an emotional level, sharing in her shock and sadness. Sarah's fans are used to her humor, but this time her reaction was serious, almost vulnerable. It was a reminder that sometimes even comedians are left speechless. Her fans flooded the comments with supportive messages, many echoing her feelings. Sarah's reaction was a stark contrast to her usual upbeat style, showing that even she could feel the weight of the moment. How do you feel about seeing a comedian like Sarah respond in a way that was raw and unscripted? 2. Josh Gad, known for his roles in beloved films like Frozen and Beauty and the Beast, took a heartfelt approach to the election results. He tweeted, "This election broke my heart," capturing the sadness he felt for the country. Josh, who is usually known for his humor and warmth, let down his guard in this moment, expressing a genuine sense of heartbreak that resonated with fans. Many of his followers shared their own sadness, responding to his tweet with messages of support and empathy. Josh's response reminded people that even the most cheerful voices can feel the weight of difficult times. His message was a comforting reminder that it's okay to feel deeply, to express disappointment, and to be open about moments of sadness. Did Josh's honesty surprise you, or did it bring a refreshing dose of authenticity to the conversation? 1. Deborah Messing. Deborah Messing, an outspoken political activist, didn't hold back when it came to expressing her frustration. She tweeted bluntly, "Shame on you, America," calling out the country directly. Her reaction was fiery and direct, capturing her disappointment in the strongest terms. Deborah's fans, many of whom share her views, responded passionately, agreeing with her statement and sharing their own feelings of frustration. Her tweet became a rallying cry for those who felt let down by the result. A reminder that sometimes anger can be powerful. Deborah didn't mince words, and her fans loved her for it. For her, this wasn't just about the election. It was about a deep sense of betrayal by the country she loves. Her words were bold, unfiltered, and sparked intense discussions among her followers. Do you think Deborah's direct approach was necessary, or do you think it might have alienated some of her fans? Audience reaction and aftermath. Social media erupted in a frenzy of responses to these celebrity reactions. Fans joined the conversation, some echoing their favorite star's disappointment, while others criticized them for weighing in on politics at all. Hashtags like #ElectionShock and #StayInYourLane began trending as people across the country engaged in heated debates. Interestingly, a few celebrities later clarified their comments, possibly realizing the intensity of the backlash. Fans and critics took sides, showing that celebrity voices continue to have a major impact, stirring conversations well beyond Hollywood. It became clear that for many fans, these reactions weren't just about the election. They were about finding solidarity in a moment of division. The intensity of these reactions shows just how personal politics can be, especially with a figure as polarizing as Trump. From anger and shock to unity, and in some cases celebration, these celebrities made it clear they felt the impact of this election, just like everyone else. What do you think? Should celebrities use their platform to share political views, or should they stick to entertainment? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's reaction, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for updates and drop a comment below with your thoughts. We'd love to hear where you stand.